Today is the most exciting day for a football manager player because it is Regen Day. We've got to that time of the season when the Regens, or the New Gens, whichever way you want to call them, technically it is New Gen, but everyone calls them Regens. I'm ingrained to call them Regens. So we're going to stick with Regen Day for now. But that's what it is. The Regens have come through. We'll take a look at those guys in just a few moments' time. But today we have got both legs of the Wolfsburg game in the second knockout round of the Europa League. In between then, we've got Everton as well. So it should be an exciting episode. It's been nearly perfect since you were last here for the 4 wins last episode, or 3 wins last episode. 2 against Ludogorets and 1 against Norwich. Since then, we lost 1-0. We lost 1-0 to Watford in a game where Watford actually dominated us. They were the better side, deserved the win. Troy Deeney with the goal. They got what they deserved. It was really annoying, but they deserved to win. Fortunately, we did turn things around with 2 wins. The first one being a 2-0 win against Swansea City in the FA Cup 5th round. We've got Liverpool in the 6th round very soon, which is rather exciting. And then after that, we took on Sheffield United and won 3-0 with Juan Mata, Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba scoring the goals. Rashford missed a penalty and also had a goal disallowed by the VAR. So Rashford quite unlucky in that game. But up against Wolfsburg, we're trying a different approach. So this is the youth intake for this season, and as you can see, it's not the best. We've got a 4-star potential players, the best, a few 3-stars, 2.5s downwards there. It's not the best intake in the world, but it doesn't matter too much because we are only doing 2 seasons with Manchester United. Of course, once we start doing the Grasshopper Save, youth development matters a whole lot more, so we'll take a lot more interest in the whole youth development and youth candidate stuff. Now, I've got a Patreon, and one of the perks of the Patreon, if you subscribe to a certain level, is you can have a regen named after you. So the guys who are already on there, who already subscribed to that level, if you want a regen named after you, please do let me know. We just probably won't see too much of you miss Man United save. Again, once we get to Grasshoppers, that's probably a lot more important and you'll see a lot more of yourself there. But if you want a regen named after you right now, that's absolutely fine. We can do that. I'll have put a screenshot of this up on Patreon a couple days ago. So you Patreon guys will have got a sneak peek at this. So you've probably already said on there what you want if you want anything. But of course, if you're only watching this the first time, not checked Patreon, please do let me know. Got a busy weekend ahead, hence why I'm recording this on Thursday. This is going to come out on Saturday, I believe. So it might be like an episode or 2 delayed to actually get your name in there, but I just thought I'd let you know. And of course, if you want to join the Patreon, there is a link down in the description. There'll be one on the screen right now. Plenty of perks, plenty of different levels to get yourselves involved. So have a look at that, check it out. Really appreciate it if you could do. Right, into today's first game against Wolfsburg. We're going to go for a full strength lineup because I think we need to against Wolfsburg. So this should be a lineup that you are pretty familiar with now. We've got De Gea in goal with a backline of Shaw, Maguire, Ayer and Wan-Bissaka. Pogba and Partey in the middle. Everton on the left, Mata in the middle and Bernardeschi on the right. But I'm putting Mason Greenwood up front because he is the in-form striker at the moment. Martial can't score. Rashford got 1 last game, but other than that, he's been very, very poor. Greenwood's the one scoring the goals, so I think he needs to start today. Kickoff then is upon us. We are away for the first leg, so we need to get some important away goals. But I think if we can get past Wolfsburg, we stand ourselves in pretty good stead going forward. Wolfsburg, one of the better teams left in this competition. We saw last episode that they haven't actually lost a game yet in the Europa League. So they are going to be really, really tough to get past. And they could be a stumbling block for us on our way to the final. But we have to beat them first. And that's going to be a very, very big ask. So hopefully we get it completely right here today. And we get the business done. As a great pass across to Everton there. Meets its intended target. Everton still on the ball. Passes it in towards Paul Pogba, into Juan Mata, Thomas Partey, out to Wan-Bissaka. Can we get a cross into the area? Bernardeschi now on the edge of the area, out to Pogba, back to Wan-Bissaka. It's cleared and we just need to be a bit more decisive. I think we do. That's the thing. We need to be a bit more decisive. And Wolfsburg coming forward at the other end on the counter-attack. Scored the goal, but it's going to VAR and it's been disallowed for offside, I presume. That's the only thing I can think of. Offside, apparently. I'll agree with that. That's a fantastic decision. I didn't realise it was offside, so I don't know. But we'll take that either way. A bit of a warning there for us. We need to be a little bit better in this next part of the game. We can't be conceding here. We've left a lot of space there for their wing. He's just strolled into the area. Why is no one going to close him down and tackle him? Great tackle there in the end to get rid of it. And now on the counter-attack, Mason Greenwood up there on his own, really. Not got too much support right now as Everton comes forward. Pogba on the ball, back to Juan Mata, out to Everton. Come on, lads, come forward with it. Do something a bit more decisive with the ball. I know we're playing tiki-taka, it's my fault, but I don't really like the style of play too much. I want to be a bit more decisive, but as I've said in previous episode, it's working. Like, we are doing very well in the league, we're doing very well in the cup, we're doing very well in the Europa League. We can't change it because I just don't quite like the style of play. It's working very well for us. I think we've been unfortunate not to score looking at the stats. 0 shots technically, because they had that one offside, didn't they? So technically they've had one, but it counts as 0. We've had all the possession as well. We've got to make this work in our favour, and we've got to grab a goal before half time. But here come Wolfsburg on the counter-attack once again. And they have looked dangerous on the counter-attack, although we have stopped them in their tracks a little bit there. So they've got to do a bit more building up to get through to us. But we've left a lot of space on that right-hand side of the pitch for them. Coming forward again across to the other side, putting the cross in, are they? Wan-Bissaka not quite winning the ball. And Max Arnold scores the opening goal of the game against the run of play. You hate to see that, but it's a very good goal, and defensively from us, it was poor. It wasn't brilliant. It's a great strike, to be fair, but we need to work a lot harder in the second half to get the all-important away goals. So at half-time, 1-0 down. Not exactly where we want to be, but still a second half to turn this around. Perhaps I've put a bit too much on Mason Greenwood. Perhaps I'm expecting a bit too much from him. Maybe we need to bring Rashford or Martial onto the pitch. Probably Rashford, not Martial. Probably bring one of those two on at least in place of him. He's not played particularly well. I think he's been a little bit isolated and not quite used to play. I mean, obviously, Wolfsburg's a step up from like Ludogorets, where he scored a couple goals and things like that. So it is the step up. But I thought he might be able to do it today. He's played well, scoring 11 goals this season in not so many games. And Wan-Bissaka now to put the ball into the middle, into Bernardeschi. Thomas Partey gets a goal back for us to level things up. Gives us an important away goal as well, which is brilliant. I think we'll leave it another 10 minutes or so before we think about bringing Martial on. But again, this is just crying out to put the cross in. But I suppose at the same time, they are lining up on the edge of the area, unmarked. You've got to go there instead, haven't you, really? You've got to go there rather than risk putting it into the middle. And really, there's quite a lot of them there, compact. It makes sense, I suppose. I'm getting cross about nothing. It's just, I don't know. I'm just a bit more traditional with my style of play. Just pump it into the area, hope for the best. We're taking Greenwood off, though. Rashford is going to come on. That's the only change that we're going to make for now. Wolfsburg on the attack now. On the counter-attack, Maguire gets a tackle in, but it doesn't really do much as they still come forward down the left-hand side of the pitch. Oh, and it was a well-worked goal. We should have dealt with that an awful lot better. And we need to demand more. We need to go very attacking, and we need to bring on Diogo Dalot for Luke. No, not for Luke Shaw. Let's bring him on for Wan-Bissaka, and we're also going to bring on Goretzka. No, because Thomas Partey's playing. Well, he's only playing well because he scored the goal. Let's take Pogba off then for Goretzka. Have a go at that. Now, I knew Wolfsburg was going to be hard, but I didn't think we'd lose to them, if I'm honest with you. Didn't think we would lose to them. And now we've got to grab a goal here in the 91st minute or so. We can grab a late minute equaliser, get 2 away goals. That would be absolutely massive. But instead, Wolfsburg coming forward on the ball, go for the chip. They hit the crossbar. Again, causing us all sorts of issues. And we've been the better side in terms of stats, but they've taken their chances better. And Wolfsburg win the first leg 2-1. You hate to see that. So, not the best result for us, that. We're going to have to pull out all the stops in the home leg, as apparently there's the draw for the quarterfinal and semi-final are made right now. So, that's interesting. If we get past Wolfsburg now, we're going to see who we come up against. And it's going to be potentially us against either Arsenal or Stade Rennais in the quarterfinals. Now, I don't know if this also means that we'll then play one of these 4 teams in the semi-final as a second half of the draw. I don't know. But that's an interesting one. So Stade Rennais or Arsenal in the quarterfinal. Now it's a semi-final draw, so it must be slightly different, obviously. So it's one of us 4 teams against one of those 4 teams. I'm not quite sure why we're doing this so early. It just seems pointless doing it like this. But potentially, we've got Stade Rennais, Arsenal, and then potentially Torino, Tottenham, Ajax, or Shakhtar. I don't even know why we're talking about it right now because we're so far away and we're still losing. So actually, let's not focus on that right now. We've got to focus on the Everton game first. Everton down in 14th, so it should be a routine win. We are now in 3rd in the table due to our loss to Watford that we had in between episodes. City and Liverpool have capitalised on that to the point where City are 2 points clear of us and Liverpool are 3 points clear. But it's still very much going down to the wire as things stand. So for the Everton game, I do want to rest a couple of players out there just so we've got... So they're ready basically for the next game against Wolfsburg. So... Luke Shaw is going to come off for Dalot. We're going to bring on Goretzka for Pogba. I feel like that's probably something we should be doing. Juan Mata's going to come off, but actually we'll put Goretzka in that position and we'll bring on McTominay in that deep line playmaker position. Martial's going to come on for Mason Greenwood, although I think we'll start Rashford for the next game in the Europa League. Everton is looking a bit tired, but I want Everton to play against Everton because that'll be funny / a little bit confusing. So we'll take him off at some point for... potentially Daniel James. We'll put him on the bench instead of Sergio Romero for now. That to me looks like a good enough lineup to beat Everton. Anyway, kickoff is upon us and we need to bounce back, give ourselves some confidence and hope we can carry that forward into the game against Wolfsburg, where we've got an awful lot to do to ensure we have to go through to the next stage. I'm a little bit concerned about it because... I don't know, going 2-1 down to Wolfsburg, that's going to be a long way to come back. So far, though, Everton are the side coming forward, which I'm not a fan of, but that's a great interception from Bernardeschi as Martial coming forward. Can he get past his man? He just takes it too wide. Goretzka putting it just the wrong side of the post. A good counter-attack, but I think it just wasn't good enough from Martial. Obviously, I'm recording this earlier than when last episode came out. So last episode, I said I'm going to try and sell Martial. I've not read any comments yet because the video's not actually out yet. So I won't be able to tell you if you guys agree with me or not on that. But it's just little things like that when he runs away from goal rather than going towards it. Things like that. I just feel like he has to go. He's not the striker that we need at the club, unfortunately. Also, it's quite a shame that we've not seen any impact from Everton yet against Everton. I've been waiting to say this since we signed him. And yet he's done nothing. I don't think we've seen him in game apart from trying to get a header there where he missed it completely. But Everton wins the ball down to Martial. Fantastic stuff. McTominay into Diogo Dalot. Into Everton. Gets tackled by Sigurdsson. I want Everton to score today as well. But I kind of want to rest him for the game. But Moise Keane's forward. It's a great manoeuvre. And he has scored somehow. It ricochets off the... Well, ricochets. It bounces completely straight back to him off the post. And unfortunately, David De Gea just didn't recover. We're down 1-0 again. You hate this. It's a great ball, to be fair. And I'm not quite sure what De Gea does there, if I'm honest with you. But it wasn't good. So as we approach half-time, we find ourselves in a very familiar situation, unfortunately. Where we are 1-0 down to a team that really we should be beating and need to be beating. If we want to be up at the top of the table, if we want to be keeping up with Man City and Liverpool, it's a game we have to win. In much the same way, if we want to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Europa League, we had to be beating Wolfsburg, and we haven't done either of them so far. Hopefully, it all turns around in the end, and it's a nice story where we go and beat Wolfsburg 3-0 in the second leg. But the way we played then, and the way we're playing today, as Martial is through and grabs an equaliser, that gives me a bit of hope. But overall, the way we're playing, it doesn't look great for us, does it? So into the second half now, and I'm expecting a big turnaround from the lads. We'll have to take Everton off the pitch soon because I want to rest him and make sure he's fit enough to play as Thomas Partey hits the crossbar. That's unfortunate. That's what I've been missing from Thomas Partey. The start of the season off, he banged goals in like that, but has settled down for quite a while now as Moise Keane hits the post twice. I mean, it was offside anyway, but I'm not quite sure how he's hit the post twice there. Lucky for him, it was offside, actually. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lived that down, I don't think. But again, it's another scary prospect of Everton being a very good side and coming forward very well against us. Bernardeschi now on the ball. Thomas Partey. Someone get that to Wan-Bissaka. Great ball to Wan-Bissaka, who's in, but doesn't really do anything with it, which is frustrating me quite a lot, and he's lost possession. Everton on the counter-attack. Bernard coming forward. It's 3, and De Gea makes a very, very good save there. I was going to say it's like 3-on-1, but it wasn't actually. We got defenders back quite nicely in the end. But we need to be better than this. Time for Everton to come off. Rashford, on you go on that left-hand side. That should be fine. No more changes yet. Although Wan-Bissaka's looking tired, so we'll swap him and Dalot around. and we'll tentatively bring Luke Shaw on for a little run out. See, if we don't pick up a win here today, we're going to be 4 points behind City and 5 points behind Liverpool, and then that's going to be a mammoth challenge with less than 10 games to go in the league this season. Bernardeschi, though, loses out to Delph, and again, our defence is just not good enough. I say this, I'm very confused by our defence, because we have kept a lot of clean sheets this season, and I don't think we've really conceded that many, but I think it's more because De Gea has saved us rather than our defence being rock solid, and that's just an example of it being quite leaky, as Everton make it 2-1. One final change, though. Daniel James is going to be coming on for Bernardeschi, so he can have a small rest, so he's a bit fitter for the next game against Wolfsburg, which I'm actually getting a bit stressed out for, because I thought we turned things around against Everton today, but looking at the stats, they've been a bit better than us. I mean, we've kept possession, but possession clearly means nothing in a situation like this, especially when they have more shots than us as well, which you hate to see. Luke Shaw into Rashford. Shaw once again towards Rashford. Come on, grab an equaliser now, boys. Please, just pump a ball into the middle. Or do that. Do that if you want. It's rubbish. Well, I don't really know what's gone wrong. Why we've suddenly just turned a corner and are struggling against sides we should be comfortably beating. 2-1 loss to Wolfsburg, 2-1 loss to Everton as things stand right now. How are we going to turn it around? How? Do one of you guys want to come here and do it for me? Because I don't know what to do. Right, a few days off, and then it really is D-Day. Really, really is D-Day. It's here somewhere. It's here. Club Vision this season. Europa League win. Please, lads, sort it out for me. Get it right. Turn things around against Wolfsburg. Even a 1-0 win will be fine. A 1-0 win would be beautiful because we'd then go through on away goals. That's all I'm asking. Just win by 1. Unless, of course, they scored 2 away goals, and then obviously that wouldn't be great either. Juan Mata's got a cold, so he's out for 1 to 2 days with the physio. Although, let's send him home because I don't want anyone else to get a cold. So I hope he better be back. Please be back, Juan Mata. It can't be that bad. It's just a runny nose, lad. It's a runny nose. Get used to it. Get over yourself. Interestingly, youth prospects, are they just saying only 5 players should sign? I mean, I will sign the recommended players. I think they're just saying that perhaps only 5 should sign. Either way, we're going to sign those guys. So if you are on the Patreon and you want one of these players, please do let me know. It's on a first come, first served basis, I should probably add as well. First come, first served. So if you're quickest and you've already got there before the video comes out, because I've put it on the Patreon already, you've seen it, then well done for being fast. Right then. This is going to be interesting. Juan Mata is not playing today. He's still at home with his cold, apparently. Not good. In that case, Pogba back on the pitch. We'll have to leave Goretzka where he is for now. Luke Shaw on for the lot. Maguire, I mean, that back line's got to stay like that, hasn't it? Lingard on the bench then, please. Martial off, Rashford on. The striker dilemma, that's what I can't quite get at the moment. But that's as good as it's going to get right now. That is as good as it is going to get. So, there's the team. Let's just hope they decide to turn up at home against Wolfsburg. Okay then, kickoff's upon us. We need to win 1-0. Alright, 1-0. That's all we need to do. If they score a goal, then it's obviously, we have to score 3 or something like that, don't we? If we want to win before extra time. As Pogba loses the ball there early on. We need to be dominant. We need to be assertive. We need to be sensible out there. And to be fair, that's good covering from Aya, but that's awful from Wan-Bissaka. We can't do that. Right, come on, boys. Build from the back. Let's get going out there. Let's do something clever with the ball. Let's not get tackled, please. That's what I mean by do something clever, not get tackled. Bernardeschi into Pogba then. Goretzka, back to Pogba. I don't mind the slow build-up play if we keep possession and don't concede a goal. I'm fine with that as Pogba. What are you doing there, lad? What are you doing there? Rashford, go on. Go on, Rashi. Come on. Did I just call him Rashi as well? Like, what kind of a name is that? It's not the most pleasant name, is it really? Rashi. Sort this out. You're meant to be a team leader around here, so please sort it out as Wan-Bissaka comes forward into Bernardeschi, into Thomas Partey, Pogba. Get it to someone good. Yes, Wan-Bissaka into Bernardeschi. Goretzka scores the goal to make it 1-0. I don't know what I was going to say there. I was going to try and say something profound, but there was nothing profound about that. Goretzka scores to make it 1-0. And as it stands right now, we will go through to the quarterfinals on away goals. However, I do not want to be sitting on just a 1-goal lead for the next 70 minutes. So please score 2 or 3 more goals to make it just that bit more comfortable for me as Pogba gets it out to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw shoots again, over. I mean, I'd say I was pleased with the stats, but these are very similar stats to what we had last time when we played away, but they still managed to win. So I'm not going to hold my breath as on the edge of the area, Everton, Pogba, Shaw, someone just do something clever and put it in the back of a net. Oh, how has he missed from there? How has he missed from there? All these highlights make me nervous as well. I'd rather just see no highlights. I'd rather just, for the rest of the game now, be highlightless, and then I know that we're through. And that will make me very, very happy. Wolfsburg have been very good, I've got to say. Obviously, they've not lost a game yet in the Europa League this season, so they'll be desperately unlucky if they end up being knocked out to us, because they should be a team that go very far in this competition. I think the draw is quite harsh on both teams, because it means a favourite has had to go home in us or Wolfsburg. But hopefully it's going to be Wolfsburg as Luke Shaw gets into Pogba. Bernardeschi, again, misses from point-blank range. How's he doing that? Luckily, though, we have made it to half-time 1-0 up, which I'm pleased with. As it stands right now, Tottenham I can't even remember who we're meant to be playing in the quarterfinals now. It's so complicated, so I'm not going to try and speculate who we could be playing against. But I know that we could have Tottenham in the semi-finals, so that's... Oh, it's Arsenal. It's Arsenal Stade Rennais, wasn't it? But they're not playing right now. So I presume they played earlier on today, and I should have paid more attention to that. I don't know. We've got 30 minutes to go in today's game. It's been a relatively quiet start to the second half, but Wolfsburg are looking dangerous. That's too close for comfort. 25 minutes left on the clock, and we are coming forward now with a little bit of conviction as Goretzka gets it into Pogba a bit more centrally, but there's just not enough movement from the players on the ball in the centre midfield. Like, they're a bit static for my liking as well. I'm nervous. The more highlights I see, the more I can just see a Wolfsburg 90th minute winner coming, or equalise, but obviously they'll go through on away goals. Dalot on for sure, who's just constantly tired. He's not the fittest player in the world, really, is he? Rashford's done nothing. Greenwood, have a go, lad. I just can't quite decide what striker to use. And with 3 minutes to go in today's game now, can we just grab another one, please? To just make me feel a bit safer as Wan-Bissaka puts it in. Goretzka, Thomas Partey, please. Pogba. Oh, ever so close. But as the clock ticks down, 2 minutes of added time, we've done it. We've done it. We've won it on away goals. And a lot of players look confused and demotivated. And to be fair, we were poor out there today. We need to be better. And I can see why players are a bit confused and demotivated by that. But personally, they weren't brilliant. We'll sort of try and repair their egos a little bit, saying I was impressed how you control midfield, and they look confused rather than demotivated now. But we are through. And actually, Arsenal got to play now against Stade Rennais. That's the team we could be facing in the quarter-final. What's it going to be then? I want to see these results come through. And Arsenal draw 1-1 with Stade Rennais, which means it's Arsenal who we are facing in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We've played Arsenal twice this season. We lost 2-0, but then we won 3-0 as well. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be harder than Wolfsburg as well. I'd love to have Stade Rennais rather than Arsenal. But that is going to be coming up next episode. So in between, actually, we've got some big games, including Liverpool in the FA Cup 6th round. But next time around, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Arsenal for another 3-game special. Can we continue the run? Can we get to the semi-finals? I think we can. So after a shaky start to today's episode, a bit of a crappy middle, we've ended on a high, getting through to the quarterfinals, one step closer to getting to the Europa League final and hopefully winning it. So I will see you next time for the Arsenal game, which is going to be really exciting. So join me for that one. Until then, though, have a good evening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.